Good afternoon. My name is Valkyrierunes Tarot. We are doing another check-in for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you resonate with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in either your sidereal or tropical placements, this message could be for you. If you don't resonate with any of these messages, then I will be uploading the air signs, water signs, and earth signs as well. So for today's message, it's just going to be a general message. I'm just going to be seeing what the fire signs need to hear right now, just as similar as I did last week. This message might have to do with love this week. On my TikTok page, I did channel a message for quite a few of you guys regarding love, and it was very interesting to me. So this will just be an in-depth interpretation of what's going on for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Hopefully you guys resonate with this message. If not, I will be uploading the other ones shortly for earth, water, and air. If you are an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, especially if you're an Aries, happy birthday. It's your season. I hope that I'm able to channel a message for you that resonates well. But of course, only take what resonates, leave the rest. If there's a detail in here that just doesn't make sense, please do not take the message if it doesn't fit your criteria or your situation. You'll know if it's for you. Use discernment, please. So I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle for a little bit more. My main question for this reading is, what do the fire signs need to know right now? What do they need to hear that will help them live the most efficiently? I am seeing the Justice card pop up a few times here, so I'm having a feeling this has to do with balance, but we will see very shortly. This will be, again, a general message, but you can apply it to love. You can apply it to anything that it resonates for. It can apply to anything, really, just as long as you resonate with it. That's what matters. I do have to apologize ahead of time as well. My nose has been a little bit tingly today. I'm trying not to sneeze on camera, but please be patient with me because it's been a little bit weird with the weather change. It's been changing a lot here in Southern California, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle one more time and put this card in the deck real quick and ask once again, what do the fire signs need to hear right now? Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Please apply your big three, Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It's very interesting. We're just going to shuffle out a few more just to get us started. Actually, I think I might stop at 3 with this. One more, actually. Let's just see what we got here. Okay. So what the fire signs need to hear right now, let's just put this deck on the side for now. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, the Justice card on the bottom here, that's very interesting because I had seen it a few times already. So, fire signs, what do you need to hear right now? We're going to start with what we saw first. So I'm just going to line these up real quick and let you see them. And these were in the order that I got them. Actually, no, they're not. They're like this. I'm still trying to get the hang of the camera versus here. So, what do you need to hear right now? So it's pretty interesting to me already that the first card you guys got was the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It's called the Ten of Stones in the Chrysalis Tarot, but it's the same thing, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. It's really interesting to me because the Ten of Pentacles is a lot of recognition. It's a lot of understanding of your values. It's the worth. It's even coming into large sums of money. Whatever you deem worthy, whether it's tangible or spiritual, there's a lack of, or maybe even you're not seeing it the way that you want to. Just given the fact that it's the first card you're getting, I feel like it's something that you've already passed. So you don't have to resonate with this card specifically, but I do think it's interesting you got it first because I feel like maybe fire signs, you're dealing with a lot of apathy maybe towards a situation, a lot of apathy towards your current situation, maybe even negativity that you've been feeling in regards to your worth or regards to the things that you deem worthy of your time. And maybe you're not seeing the fruits of your labors right now. You're not seeing the fruits of your labors in general. You might be feeling like there's not a lot coming in for you. And this is just a current feeling. And I think that your guides really just want you to know that this is just temporary because it is your first card. It's not the end. The Ten of Pentacles is not the end. It is just a moment. And where you might be feeling large amounts of loss or sums of loss. And I'm feeling it more so in financial reasons. So you might have lost a sum of money. You might have invested in something, not seen it turn around the way you wanted it to. Whatever the case is, your guides just need you to know it's temporary. They need you to know that whatever large loss you're feeling is temporary. It's not permanent. It's not something you're meant to feel for the entirety of your life. You're meant to feel it only right now. It might be a lesson that you need to know. It might be a lesson in how you cope with that loss. Whatever the case is, that you are going to be seeing it balance out in time. It only feels like you've lost a lot right now because of how much effort you might have put into something. It might be an investment you put a large amount in. For some people, when they put investments, whether it's financial or not, they put in small amounts at a time, and it feels like maybe you jumped the gun on something and now you're dealing with that loss. We did talk about that similarly last week, where it's not about the loss that you're feeling right away. It's how you cope with that afterwards. So again, you might have actually gone and jumped the gun, as I mentioned in last week's video. If you are a fire sign and you resonate with last week's message, this might be for you, or this might be something different. But it definitely feels like something that you've recognized, that you've put a lot of effort into. You've jumped into something knowing it would take that effort, and you feel that drainage from your bank or from your energy. And so I feel like because it's being followed by the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is, it actually does follow the Ten of Pentacles in the tarot deck. So I do think that that's something that is worth noting, is that, just because you feel this loss doesn't mean you're not going to start over. This feeling of, this drainage here with this Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and then you have the Page of Pentacles. I feel like it's just saying that, it's not over until it's over. If it's not okay right now, then it doesn't mean it's the end. Everything does work out the way it's supposed to. I feel like that's what that's saying. So with this Empress energy, I feel like you guys might have got Empress energy last week as well. I'm not quite sure. I need to go check. But, I do feel as though there's something here about that, especially because it's being followed by the Five of Cups in reverse. I feel like there's something there when it comes to, coping with loss. You're really sitting in this Empress energy and acknowledging and honoring those emotions. And your guides are saying that, like, a loss isn't attached to you. This loss in particular that you're dealing with isn't attached to you. It's attached to something else, and it has nothing to do with you. So you are releasing a lot of feelings of pity and of that sort of ego death that we talked about in a previous reading, where you're not really needing to release the ego itself, but the idea that your worth is attached to this effort that you've made. Your worth is not connected to your efforts. Your efforts do maybe one day add up to your worth, but they're not the entire sum. And so I think that's kind of the message that's coming here, is that the sum of value here has nothing to do with you. It has more to do with, that's just the way the world works. And I think maybe your guides are saying, or implying even, that, sometimes you fail at something, and it's not about you failing or that you did something wrong, but that you need to understand how to bounce back from that. So what else does fire signs need to hear right now? What do they need to know? Let's draw more cards than we did last week. I feel like there's maybe a bigger message. You have the Tower card coming. That is Aries energy. We have Taurus and Aries energy in this reading primarily so far. So you could resonate specifically with Aries energy, or you have more Aries in your chart than any other fire sign, or you have Taurus in your chart along with your fire sign placements. But whatever placements you have and you resonate with, as long as you resonate with fire signs, this message could be for you. This Tower card is telling me that, there are big changes in the way. Now, the Tower card, especially in this deck, is a little bit terrifying to look at, and I feel like people are scared of change. I feel like people are scared of change. They want change, but they're scared of what it means. They're scared of how it translates. I think that is part of the message here, is learning to be okay with change and accepting and valuing the change that you're getting, but not necessarily, being afraid of what that means. Because I feel like people want the outcome from the change, but not necessarily how it manifests. And so this could be how it's manifesting for you. It could be manifesting this week, this month. We also have the Queen of Cups that came out. So there could be a personal attachment to this change. Let me put this deck down real quick. There could be a personal attachment to whatever change you're seeing, this change that you're getting, fire signs, whatever you've been told to honor your emotions. I feel like it's kind of you know, you're sailing along on a ship, you're on a boat, you're fishing, maybe you know, you catch this big storm. And the thing is, in order to catch these big waves are important. You unfortunately sometimes have to deal with the storm. And your guides are saying there is, you know, this feeling of like holding your breath. I feel like with this Empress card that we got before, it's kind of like saying, you know, hold your breath, but not in like a hold your breath negative sort of way. I feel like it's just saying like hold your breath, hold your horses, you know, keep what's dear to you, hold tightly on what's dear to you, because there will be big waves coming in, and you're going to need to be able to have the patience and the tolerance to support those changes. And you won't have the patience and tolerance if you are freaking out, being anxious about changes that are happening, because we can't quite control how those changes manifest. So far we have quite a bit of earth sign energy. By the way, we have earth sign energy and water sign energy in this reading overall, which is telling me that this reading is coming through with those placements as well. Again, this is mainly for fire signs, your big three, sun, moon, rising, steady or tropical placements, but you could also have water and or earth in your chart. We have all signs in our chart some way. So the next card that flew out was the Nine of Pentacles. So I do feel like there is some sort of closure with this energy. I think that's why your guides really want you to hold your breath, so to speak, is not to say hold your tongue per se, or to hold your breath and allow things to negatively affect you, but to understand that all things happen for a reason, and that there's a reason that you're going through this, you know, this sort of change that might be significant, but also might be very rough for you. I think of it again as the boats, you know, the waves are getting bigger. And I feel like, again, we have to quote that, I think it's Taylor Swift who said this, but, you know, when you rise, the pressure gets more intense when you rise. So I'm paraphrasing that horribly, but I feel like that's something that you're just holding your breath on. You know, you're preparing, you're gripping, you know, you're gripping your seat, you're preparing for the fall, so to speak, but it's not really a fall so much as it's something where you're expecting the worst, but you're knowing it's for good intentions. And I wouldn't say that it's going to be a really hard time, but you understand that it has to happen for a reason. There's no point in crying about it or being upset at it. Of course, with this Empress energy, it's okay to cry about it. It's okay to honor those emotions. But I think what your guides are saying is to not let that become like a pity party, something that you're miserable over for a certain length of time. Your guides really just want you to acknowledge it and acknowledge the negativity in it, but not necessarily be ashamed of it. Be grateful for it to the extent that you need to be. So we have the Nine of Pentacles here. It's saying, you know, we're just closing out a cycle, possibly. We're closing out something that's very important to us. Now, I'm going to just shuffle this right here in this corner here. One more card, please, for our guides. What else do what does fire signs need to know right now? What do the fire signs need to know right now? How do we finalize this message? How do we conclude what the fire signs need to know? Please and thank you, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So we got two cards that just plopped out, but I'm going to read them both. So we have, the two cards that we have are the Two of Cups and the Death card. And so that Death card being there is a confirmation that we are concluding something. We are transforming. We are transitioning into something. That is also Scorpio energy. The Two of Cups, honestly, doesn't really tell me anything specific, though it does have to do with interpersonal connections. It does have to do with maybe even romantic connections, soul bonds, things that you are connected to, maybe even romantically, but it's an intimate connection. On the bottom of the deck, we have Nine of Cups. So overall, what I'm getting from this energy, just in general, is that with these nines here, the Death card, the Nine of Pentacles, the Tower, I feel like there is a change coming that's going to solidify or challenge and thus change the circumstances that you're currently in. This means that you might be forcibly removed from something that wasn't honoring your emotions as much as you were honoring it. And there needs to be a fair exchange here, and I feel like that's not what's happening. And your guides are saying that you need to accept that the things that are happening, the people who are being removed from your life, the people who are being forced into your life and then forced out of your life, it's all for a greater purpose. And it's important to hold on to those feelings and to appreciate the people that come into your life. It's important to appreciate the endings as much as you appreciate the beginnings. I think that your guides really just want you to know that this isn't a sad time. This is not intended to be a sad time for you. They don't want you to be caught up in the sadness. They do want you to honor that sadness, but they don't want you to be caught up in it or allow it to change who you are. I feel like it's kind of part of the journey to understand emotionally. We can't have everything work for us in such a way that it significantly changes our destiny, because I feel like sometimes we go through things that we want, we accept the challenges that we want to accept, but we recognize that it's not necessarily for us. That challenge isn't necessarily making us better. And I feel like that's what your guides are saying here. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you are going through something that's going to make you better in the long run, and you have to trust in the universe. You have to put your heart out there. Now, on the more romantic sense, because I do feel like people are going to see this romantically, especially with all these cups here, the Empress card being the divine feminine, you guys are saying that there is a cycle here when it comes to honoring emotions. I feel like there's something left unsaid between you and another person. So if this does resonate romantically, your guides just want you to keep it to yourself. And I don't mean that in a very negative way. I just mean that I feel like your guides are kind of saying that, like, that still that hold your breath energy. They want you to understand that you don't have to say what you think you need to say, especially if you are dealing with a Taurus or some sort of earth placement here, earth or water placement if you were dealing with that. Because it feels as though for you fire signs that you're wanting a connection to have closure. You're wanting some sort of closure with someone, but you have to accept it for what it is. And so I think in some ways your guides are saying that, like, accept that there's a reason you did not get the closure. And whatever reason that is, it's not to hurt you or the other person, but because your guides really need you to clear out space for you to maybe start over, because the Death card was a surprise card and maybe the end of the reading. The Death card is not saying things are necessarily ending, but maybe leaving room for new beginnings. So it could be ending between one person so you could be with someone else, or ending with this person so these changes can be made so you can clear out this old cycle and start anew with them later on. Given the fact that the Nine of Cups is on the bottom, I would say, if this is romantic related, that there are feelings that you still need to process about this person, and maybe you do need to talk to this person, or, you know, reconcile in some way. I want to see what's on the top of the deck, just for the curious mind here. We have the World on the top, so you could be dealing with a Capricorn, or this could be some sort of Saturn return for you, where you're just understanding that this cycle had to happen. Whatever the case, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you are completing something. You are saying that these feelings are valid, that you have to overcome certain aspects of your emotions. You have to overcome certain aspects of what you're going through and understand it's for a greater purpose. And maybe what you're going through is leading you towards a romantic situation, because this Two of Cups is at the end. Whatever the case, new beginnings are possible because of what's happening. So hold your breath, hold tightly to what matters to you, and really understand that this is a perfect time to address what matters to you, to recognize and realize what matters to you, because this is a time of change and a time of improvement. Thank you so much if you watched this whole video. If you want to see my other videos, they are also on my page. Feel free to check out last week's fire sign message if you feel called to. If not, that's fine. I'll be doing one every week. I will also be posting air signs and the water signs and earth signs as well. So if you are called to watch those as well, if you have any resonating with water, air, or earth signs, feel free to watch those videos as well. And thank you so much. Wish you all the best.